Hello, welcome to 5.6. We're looking at average value. So now let's talk about average in a very simple way first. Right. So let's say I want to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to find the average of these five numbers. Then I divide it by 5, right? Because I have total of 5 numbers. And then that gives you the average. Okay. Now let's think about in terms of a definite integral. Right. Right, definite integral is the sum of all the small rectangles, right? All the areas under the curve, right? And from definition, right, from earlier, we know that it's the sum of small rectangle area. Okay, so we can actually find the average of definite integral, okay? And given to you like this. Okay, average value of f on the interval from a to b. Right? You have your definite integral over here, right? And then you just divide by 1 over b minus a, right? The amount of x, the x b minus a will be the distance between a and b, right? And you divide by that value, and then that gives you the average of the definite integral or the function value. Okay? Now to visualize what we have here, or you can think about it as the blue curve is your f, and the area under the curve from a to b, that would be the definite integral. Right? So to find the average area under the curve would be like looking for the average area of the rectangle here. Okay? All right, let's take a look at our first example. Suppose that capital C of T represents the daily cost of heating your house in dollars per day, where T is time in days. All right, so T0 corresponds to January 1st. Interpret 1 over 90 minus 0, and then the integral from 0 to 90 C of T. All right, so first, let's determine what this is, right? That's the total cost in heating in the first 90 days of the year, right? So total cost for first 90 days, right? Because we're adding everything up for our daily cost for 90 days. Okay, and then when we divide by 90, then that gives us the average, right? So this whole thing is actually giving us the average cost per day to heat your house during the first 90 days of 2010, right? And then we can look at compare the unit, right? So it's right. So the unit for the definite integral is dollars per day multiplied by days, right? Which gives you the total cost, right, in terms of dollars. Now, if you add in the 1 over 90 minus 0, so that, let me get a different color. So this definite integral is in terms of dollars, right? And the 1 over 90, that's in terms of 1 over days, right? So which will give you dollars per day, right? Which is actually the same unit as our capital C of T, right? But we know that the cost during each day is going to be different. So what we have here is actually the average cost per day. Okay. All right, so here I've included a little writing down of what we just talked about. All right, let's take a look at another example. Example 2, the population of McAllen, Texas can be modeled by the function capital P, f of t is equal to 570 times 1.037 to the power of t, where P is in thousands of people and T is in years since 2000. Use this function to predict the average population of McAllen between the years 2020 and 2040. All right, so first, 2020, that's 20 years after 2000. All right, so T is 20. And 2040 will be 40 years after 2000, so T is 40. All right, so if we want to find the total population, and we want to find an average population, all we need to do is first, we need to do 1 over 40 minus 20, right, to find the average, and then multiply that by the integral of 20 to 40, f of t, right, f of t, which is the population model, okay, dt. Okay. So the integral actually adds up all the population from 20 to 40, and then to find the average, we need to divide that by 1 over 40 minus 20, which is 20. Okay, and then we can do that using a graphing calculator or online calculator, right? And like the definite integral actually comes out to around 656.2, and then you divide by 20, which is 1732.81. Right, so let's just round it up to 1733, and so we can say that the average population of McAllen between 2020 and 2040 is predicted to be about 1,733,000 people. So 1.7 million, about 1.7 million. Okay. And again, we don't have to know how to integrate this function right here, right? We're just going to use a graphing calculator or online calculator to evaluate it. All right. So nothing tricky from this section, right? Just one more formula to work with. You just need to multiply by 1 over b minus a to find the average value of f on the interval, right? Compared to the normal definite integral. Okay. All right. That's it for 5.6. Thank you guys very much.